Hi, it's Cher with Peace and Love Readings. How are you guys this evening? Yes, I know. As usual, it's a mess. Um, just gonna light a little Palo Santo here, maybe. Okay, that's not a good sign. Let's try this again. If you have not met me or seen me before, I'm Cher. I have a website called peaceandlovereadings.com, and I believe in spreading love and peace in the world. And I do receive intuitive messages through Source and Spirit. Uh, I'm not anything special. I am a child of God, and that is special. But as far as there's no magic or anything, it's simply me being a messenger to give clarity to whoever Source might feel needs it to to help people, to spread the love, to help them see, help them see the tree or the forest or whatever it is you need to see. It's that important. Sometimes when we're like in this forest, we can't we can't find our way out. And I know that I have been there many times in my life where I had a hard time finding my way out. What I do remember most of all is that when I called on God, that is when things started to change. And so that's a message. If you're in a forest or if you're stuck somewhere and you can't find your way out, reach out, ask for help. You don't have to be in a church or anything. Life is sacred, God is sacred. Communicate with your higher self, reach out, tap in, believe in the divine, and this will help you. Sorry, my face itches. It always itches with spirit, especially my nose. um, I'm reading this book. I'm always picking up books. I love books, especially self-help or knowledge books, things like that. But I'm reading a book I found called Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Moss. I hope I said her name right. See if I can adjust the light here so you can see better. Better. Okay. And it is a New York Times bestseller. And she also wrote a book called Anatomy of the Spirit. No, I don't know her. I'm not plugging for her or anything. I simply found some of the things in her book very profound and wanted to give her credit for them because they make you think. I feel like we all have. Guys, first I'm just going to stop and say a prayer real quick because I feel like I'm already reading and I always like peace and protection and I always want to make sure it's coming from the right place. So give me just 1 minute. Amen. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I just always feel better. Um, but so I'm reading pieces of this book. That's kind of how I read. Whatever it seems like when I open the page of a book, and I think this is divine guidance. I'm directed to where I need to be as to how it applies in my life. And I'm reading on how when your soul is called forth and it's like you're, okay, like kind of like you see the big picture. I'm putting this in layman's term. It's like all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. And, uh, you know, no one knows. That's individual. That's, you know, put it where it goes. um, no one truly knows mm, the depth of the divine. You know, it's crazy. And yes, I probably am not making a lot of sense, but there's always a lot going on. When you finally figure out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do, there's some things that are going to be required. Number one, you're going to have to listen to the guidance. Sometimes I'll walk through a store, I see a sign. It's like a message. It's a message from the universe. And I pay attention. And I, like right now, I'm talking to you, and there's a very strong temperature change on my shoulder. That temperature change in my world tells me that source is here guiding me with the words and the correct things to put out into the universe. Um, so the first thing that is required is, pay attention to the guidance. The second thing is education. Um, I'm an intuitive, and I usually read, quite honestly, uh, by things I hear, things I see, things I dream. There are many different ways I receive messages, but um, I had to educate myself in a lot of ways. And so you're being called to, number one, follow the guidance, and number two, educate yourself. Okay. And then it's like you go through a series of tests. Um, the book calls it surrender points. And it's like you're being tested to see if your faith is stronger than your external self, your ego. Who rules your life? Is it God or is it your ego? Which rules? Okay, and so you know when you're being tested, it's like, are you striving for earthly power? Are you striving for spiritual power? Is what I'm hearing. Okay, and so you have the guidance, you pay attention, okay? You educate yourself. I educate myself every day, all kinds of things. The world is so interesting and there is so much to learn. If you are out there and you are bored with your life, I hear pick up a book. Go to the library, it costs nothing, you know. And in this day and age of onlineness, there is thousands of things to learn and to broaden your education within your mind and to help you achieve the status of enlightenment, the status of living on the higher vibration. This 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 vibration where you set aside the ego and choose to function and operate on the higher vibration of love. you know, uh, 1 Corinthians chapter 13 in the Bible talks about it. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Okay? And so part of my goal is to teach people to live on a higher vibration and also to teach them to live in love and to expect love, to give love out. It's like a boomerang, it's going to come back. Whatever you put out in this universe will come back. Excuse me. If you put out hate and meanness, yeah, hate and meanness is going to come back. Uh, you want your soul to feel good, right? It's a process, though. Feeling connected and whole in the universe is a process. It does require some work. It requires listening to guidance. I know I'm being repetitive, but I really want to get this across. It requires that you educate yourself in certain ways, even if it's something as simple as reading the Bible. And it requires that you pass test in the universe. Do I think we're tested? Absolutely 100%. I think that we're tested about our faith, all kinds of things, okay? It's not a perfect world. Everything is not sunshine and roses for me every day. I had a friend get sick yesterday, and I prayed for them, and I felt at peace. I felt like they were going to be okay. but only God knows the answers, but and just praying for that person and turning that over to God uh, gave me that peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. If you're out there, and you know the Bible verse, feel free to put it in the comments. If you have a question, like I said, I'm an intuitive, extremely spiritual in nature, and yes, I believe in God. Uh, uh, we are always on this spiritual learning process, um, where we learn to tap into our inner power. We learn to tap into source, that higher vibration, the omnipotent, the holy one. When we're connected, I call it tapped in. When we're tapped in and connected, all is right with the world. Even though your circumstances and the things that are going on around you may not be right with the world. But I always say this, if God puts you in the fire, he'll get you through it. I had a friend say that one time. It's very profound. And if you look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the Bible, they were in the fire, and God got them through it. They were gone. God, sometimes this is a very important message for somebody, and this is so profound and so spirit led. Sometimes God takes you out of situations and places and relationships to protect you. Sometimes to protect you from yourself or others. That's a strong message, and it's an important message. Okay, and uh, one of the goals living on this higher vibration, or striving to live on a higher vibration, is to realize our divine potential. What do we have to offer the world? What gift do we have? We all have our gifts. Some gifts are very simple. Sometimes it's just compassion and listening and being kind. I got to change my calendar. I'm 2 days behind. But anyway, and if you're out there and you're wondering or you have a question about life or anything else in general, no, I don't have all the answers. I have the answers that come through from source, you know, and but I do know that, like, one of the things that is expected of us is to reach our highest potential, to operate on the higher vibration. Just simply waking up in the morning and saying, I am so grateful, Lord, for this day, for this life, for these beautiful children you have given me. Just simply being profoundly grateful for what you have at the time that you have it will simply lift up your vibration. It will force you to move to a higher vibration. You can't be grateful and thankful for your life or the things in your life and not have it uplift you in some way, shape, or form, and that's important. Bear with me. In this walk, in this spiritual walk, I feel like this is very important to tell someone this. I've learned a lot, and I've learned that there's a lot I don't know. I just saw 14:14 on the clock. Um, so sometimes you just have to let go and have faith and trust in the process, believe that you'll get to, it's a journey. Okay, and yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but this is life. We're on this journey, and then we come to the completion of whatever this is. And yes, I believe in heaven and God and everything. I'm not, but and dimensions, and there's just so much. It's an amazing, just simply the fact that we breathe every day is an amazing miracle, you know. Anyway, I know that uh, spiritual transformation it's a job. Okay, it's not always easy. It's like, if you see your friends partying and having a really good time, or does that bring your vibe up, or do you wake up the next day with a hangover, feeling miserable at a lower vibration? Does it knock you down to like, oh man, I feel so awful? Or can you choose the higher path and the path of love and guidance? Maybe help those people home if they're really crazy. Um, don't take that wrong, especially my friends. I mean, nothing ill willed by it. Um, but we all have things that we are led to in life, and our path, and our our sacred contract with our higher power. Uh, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. Okay, I want to talk about the seventh chakra. This is, uh, what is the seventh chakra? Let's see. Okay, the seventh chakra is located just above the crown of your head. Okay, and so, and there's a lesson here for the chakra. The seventh chakra is the to live in the present moment. Okay, and this is so funny that I turned to this. And the power for it is our inner divinity. Our strength is the faith in the divine, as well as listening to our inner guidance and insight from healing and devotion. Uh, the shadow part of it would be like, we don't need to know, we don't always need to know why things happen. Here's an example. Sometimes in my life, I'm going about things, and Spirit says, hey, how about do me a favor and go over and deliver this message? I have had some extremely crazy messages in my life. And in the past, I have said, no, I don't think so. Okay, well, there's a problem with that. When you tell Spirit, Source, your higher power, that you're not going to do what he's asking, or she, or whatever, it doesn't go away. It stays with you. Even if that moment passes, it's still there. And then you cannot help but wonder. But I have grown in my spirituality. And now, when I am being told to give a message to someone from Source, I don't question it as much. I'm not going to tell you I don't always question it, because there are moments, yeah, I'm like, no, they're going to think I'm crazy. I think that sometimes, like, no, they're not even going to have a clue what I'm talking about. But you know what? It hasn't happened that way. I have chosen to follow the spiritual guidance, and I have relayed the message from Source, God, the omnipotent, whatever you're comfortable with. And I've never had a person call me crazy or anything else. And this is not my ego. This is Source in action. This is Spirit helping someone in love by giving them clarity that's needed at the time. And it's very gratifying. I had some beautiful messages today from some wonderful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am thrilled that I'm on this path. And yes, my path is a spiritual path too. We're all on our own paths, and we all are responsible for our own choices. Um, you can't, you can, but someone here is being called to recognize, like, the part that they played in something, And sometimes when we have to do that inner work, that shadow work, or whatever you want to call it, sometimes it's not pretty. But when we work through that process and we forgive ourselves for what we felt that we did wrong, then we're able to move on with our lives and live in that higher vibration and not hang on to the anger and the bitterness and the resentment, and also the why. Why did this happen? What made this happen in my life, in my world, And I have had messages that I've delivered, got a little off track there, guys, from source, and I have walked away from that person or whatever. And on the way back, I have frequently thought, I wonder what that was about. And one of the times, most recently, when I did that, I heard it is not for you to know. We're not always supposed to know the answers. This is a very important message for someone. Sometimes don't worry about the answers. Just live right here, right now, in this moment. Be present in this moment. Remember to be grounded in oh, my head, it's just the seventh chakra, okay? To hold on. This is like your divine energy here, okay? To tap into this divine energy, your prana, your chai, your life force, the life force of the universe. This crown chakra, the seventh chakra, is saying that the lesson here is to live in the present moment. I have been working on this myself quite frequently and steadily, actually. And what I have found is even if I only live half of the time in the present moment, even if I only manage to do that half of the time that I'm living in the present moment, it's beautiful, it's bliss, and it's joy. And you deserve it to yourself to do this. And guys, this just seems like a really great place to end this reading. And so I'm going to end this. I hope that whoever needed to hear these things, that it resonated with. Yes, you deserve happiness. Okay. So live in the present moment, tap in and listen and pass the test too. Okay. You know the difference between spiritual and, just your all out ego being in charge. Trust me, I know. Spiritual wins, hands down. So try to keep your ego in check. On that happy little note, guys, peace out. I hope you have a lovely, what is left of tonight, and I should see you tomorrow or sooner if called. But peace, guys. Have a great night. Oh, also, please like, share, subscribe if you get a chance. I'd really appreciate it.